I definitely see it that way. Like the whole fields of like entrepreneurial coaching and leadership development and spiritual development, the ascension path. It's all basically energetically the same, and there's different narratives that fuel people. And that's why I wanted to come on today, because I was thinking this is one of my gifts, is that I can go out into the world and help the minds understand what the fuck is happening in a way that doesn't evoke shame and blame or othering, which is very hard to do. All right? Me just saying that in one sentence might sound like, oh, what's the big deal? It's a big deal. It's a very big deal. So one of the limitations that I had in my awakening was I already knew that no story was true, which is one of my mantras, which has a very deep meaning for me. It's basically, if you're a Buddhist or you have Buddhist background, you understand the finger pointing to the moon is not the moon. Well, any narrative contains truth, but is not truth. And certainly like relationally, but certainly like when we're talking about what ought to be, I'm not talking about what factually is, but when we're talking about what ought to be, those narratives are structured. And when we are living our lives, we are in a structure of narrative that is embodied basically and subconscious. And it, just like Freud and Jung and psychicians talk about, like there is a energy, and some people call it a soul, that, or subconscious, that moves us in ways that we're not aware. And then when we get old like us, and I have a lot of people in this container who are in our 50s, right? Now we can look back and we can say, oh, there's the pattern, there's the pattern, there's the pattern. And it happens subconsciously, and it happens for a reason, and it happens beautifully. Anyway, I would like to be the world bridger who could tell this story as I tell you, to those who can hear me, and there are those out there. I know you're ready for this. Some of you are ready for this. That really no story is true, and you can understand why I mean that, and why we have to hold a narrative lightly, and that the narrative itself is essential. Both are true. And what I can offer, because a narrative is essential and we have to hold it lightly, I can offer that meta explanation for the thinking mind so it can relax. And then I could share with you a narrative that is oh my God, it's the most compassionate story. It's the thread, and it's a fucking narrow thread. The thread that we can walk, where we can hold all of us, all of humanity, and you too, and me too, in this beautiful paradox of innocence and responsibility. The innocence being who we are, who we be, and how we respond in any given moment, because we are actually doing the best we can in the moment. And when I can invite people to go into a thought experiment that helps you simulate what it's like when a person's consciousness is in the state where it can actually watch things arise. Because that's true. Of course we can. Don't doubt that. It's simply an attention game. So I feel like I can be a world bridger in this way and help the mind begin to understand the most compassionate story, and how we are in fact innocent, and that can be directly observed. And I could even create thought experiments and experiences that can help people deeply have empathy for that idea. And then also understand that we are also responsible, because if not us, who? Well, that has to come with understanding that there really are no villains in the story. And that's going to be a hard one for people to extract themselves from. People really need there to be a villain, a bad person, or a bad energy, or a bad, disown, not me, not me, not me, not me. Well, to the extent that we're all connected, which we are, and we're also separate local selves, but for God's sakes, we've got to realize that we got to work on the connection part. We got the individual part down. Especially people in this group. We're very privileged in that way, in a way that might be hard to see sometimes, but we are. Anyway, we're also responsible. We're innocent and we're responsible. Innocent in the moment, responsible over space and time. I want to be the one who can stand for that and bring the most compassionate story. And I want to be the one that can stand for that and bring the structure to the mind to those that know, because you know, a lot of you know, because a lot of you've had psychedelic experiences and you've touched into it. You just are maybe not allowing the wisdom fully in, because to allow the wisdom fully in is frightening. It basically invites in a grief process of the truth of the way that we have chosen to structure ourselves and the continued harm that we are doing to ourselves every day and to each other subconsciously, not meaning to. And it's so innocent and it's so beautiful and it's so sad and it's so tragic. And there is a way out. And it is through, I really do believe it is through finding this thread of innocence, finding this essential golden thread of the most compassionate story, and sharing it. For those, there's so many of you, I bet you, all of you in this small group probably, you're like, what the fuck is going on? I know. Well, I think we can tell a story about what the fuck is going on that's compassionate and doesn't blame, and that also doesn't try to undermine the wisdom of what we also know, which is that no story is true, or all stories are partially true. And it really is just a narrative. It's just that we get to agree that is a wise narrative. And we do that following on we're standing on the shoulders of giants from all wisdom traditions. And we are in a time right now where we have technology, the machine, that can mirror back to us what the wisdom traditions already know too. Right? I'm sure you do it. I do. I want to know what's really going on with the collective patterns. And so I ask for that feedback a lot. And I ask for it to use it, in earnest, without catering to me and my consciousness. So it can look at the patterns, and it can show us what the patterns show is wisdom. And we could tell that story. And then we could not discount people's intelligence and have confidence that they can also understand that really no story is true. And that the story is also really important, and that we need to hold it lightly so it doesn't become another dogma. And what we're really getting to is an embodied experience of more peace, more truth, more harmony, and more needs satisfied. Because we do have enough. We have enough. We have enough. We just don't have the systems of distribution and the skills yet. But that's coming. All right, I feel complete. Thank you for anybody who's listened. I'm always open for one-on-one conversation. If you're too shy to comment here. Thank you. I love you. I hope you're okay. And let me know if you're not.